Don't be content with being content. Hey guys, it's John. I am here in the studio today, really excited. I wanted to talk to you about the concept of being content. Many times people are content and they're just fine. But most of the time when people tell me they're being content, it's not because they're fine. It's because they're settling. They're coming to a space of they're just doing this now, and this is the way it's going to be, and you can almost hear the Eeyore voice coming out as I say it, right? People get into contentment. They start to live bland, homogenous lives. You know, they don't really have a lot of flavor to them, a lot of excitement or joy. They just become content with where they are. They settle. One of the things that's so interesting is life is motion. And like water running downhill, when it's in motion, it's full of oxygen and life. Right? And I often say that when that same water ends up in a puddle and becomes stagnant, it becomes poisonous and bugs lay their eggs in it. But the idea of this is interesting because your life is just like that water. Your life is in motion as well. And when you start to become content and start to come to the place of stagnation, then eventually over time you become bitter. You become the one who's the poisonous water. And in being that, you express that into the world, and you have a lower quality of life because you've settled. In my life, I've been very lucky. I've been able to do pretty much everything I've ever wanted to do. You know, when I was young, I had got a job as a landscaper, and I very quickly worked my way up through that to become a landscape designer. I went to school for architecture. I won first in state of the Vocational Industrial Clubs of America. Right? I learned to paint. I won the William A. Horn Award for painting at the Rehoboth Art League. I became a Renaissance Festival entertainer, starting as a street character. I very quickly became a very popular one. I moved up to being a stage act. I very quickly became one of the top stage acts around the country. Things are great. And every time I've ever put my focus on something, I've put my passion into it, my heart into it, and it's always paid me back in full because I always feel excited. I always feel joyful about what I'm doing. When the Renaissance festivals stopped working and I stopped looking good in tights, I went off and I really started doing my spiritual experiences and my spiritual work. When the spiritual work seemed to be not in alignment with what I was trying to teach, and all they could do is focus on the past life rather than what I was saying, I left that and became a corporate speaker. I became a successful corporate speaker in a year. And I did that for a while. When COVID hit, it was like, glad I don't have to do that anymore. Well, why was I glad I didn't have to do that anymore? Because I had become content. I had become complacent in that business. I came back to spiritual work, and I was like, I'm doing spiritual work, which is something I wanted to do. And when I came back to the work, it became very apparent that I could reach more people through YouTube. As I started doing more and more YouTube, I became passionate about the process of YouTube. How can I bring more? How can I do this? I started getting on other people's podcasts, other people's YouTube channels as an interview, and it started growing. Now I'm in the process of expanding how I do videos, which I'm really so very excited about. I mean, you may have noticed at the beginning of this video, I started with this camera instead of this camera. And the reason that is because as I get into video, I get more and more excited about video, more and more thrilled about video. I start expanding my capabilities with video so I can bring better content to you and better experiences and fun things for me. So it's about loving myself equally, loving you equally, and coming to the space of realizing that if I had just stopped with working from my computer camera and my computer microphone, that the videos never would have gotten better, and then we never would have grown. And it really comes down to keeping that motion going, constantly moving and striving for more, and doing it in such a way that it's not striving, but striding for more. I'm striding for more. I'm just walking into it, just doing. I'm going boldly where no man has gone before, right? And I'm taking this energy that I'm putting into this experience, and I'm creating a lifestyle where I get to deliver content to you guys, and I get to do things that I love to do, and the more. And what's interesting about it is, because I'm not content with my life, I am living my life and loving my life, that the hours that I put in, which are vastly much more than I ever did doing corporate speaking, they don't feel like much more. My life feels vibrant and alive and in motion, because I'm doing I'm passionate about. And when you find that you're just being content, just living a bland life that's homogenous and not really fulfilling your own drive, your own person, yourself, then it really comes down to you making a new choice. You deciding that you're not just going to be content. You're going to live your life. You're going to stride into your future. You're going to express into the world new joys, new excitements, new things to learn, new experiences. And when you do that, your world will surround you with abundance anyway. Indian Larry said, when you do what you love, the money will come. He was a famous motorcycle builder. And his money came. He was one of the best builders in the world, and people paid large sums of money for his motorcycle. When you do what you love, the money will come, right? And sometimes that means you have to do what you love and make your money elsewhere until it does. But don't be content with being content. You are the pinpoint of creation. Choose what you're doing next. Follow your heart. Do things you enjoy. Express them into the world. And you'll be amazed how your life will feel so much more vibrant. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. The John of New channel is solely funded by your generous donations and purchases of private readings and merchandise. To help out, go to johnofnew.com or use the donation link in the description below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.